Good morning, students. This is lecture 2 of Mathematics, class 8th, chapter 10, Visualizing Solid Shapes. In this lecture, we will discuss the following topics. We will recapitulate previous concepts, concept of mapping around us, examples of maps we will study, faces, vertices and edges. We will know about faces, vertices and edges, and we will discuss the homework solutions of the previous lecture, that is lecture number 1. Let us recapitulate what we have studied in the previous lecture. We have studied about dimensions. So what are dimensions, or what is a dimension? Basically, dimension is a measurable length along a direction. Dimensions are length, breadth or width, or height or depth, you can say. Then we have studied about 1D, 2D and 3D shapes. Based on the number of dimensions a figure has, there are 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional figures. What are 1-dimensional figures? That is 1D figures or shapes. They do not enclose any area and have only one direction or one dimension. As the name indicates, 1-dimensional shapes, so it will be having only one dimension. A ray or a line segment is the example of 1D. Then we have studied about 2D figures or 2D shapes. What are 2-dimensional figures? They have length and breadth or width, that is, they have 2 dimensions and they have an area associated with them, like squares, rectangles. We have studied the examples also. Then we have studied about 3-dimensional figures, and basically 3-dimensional figures are the solid shapes. Shapes which can be measured in 3 directions are called 3-dimensional shapes, and these shapes are also called solid shapes. So length, width and height are their dimensions. And we have seen that cubes, cuboid, cylinder, cone are all 3-dimensional shapes. Then we have studied how the 3-dimensional shapes are formed. Formation and perspectives of 3-dimensional shapes we have studied. How 3-dimensional shapes are formed? Stacking of 2-dimensional figures results in 3-dimensional shapes or 3-dimensional figures. This stacking can be in linear manner or in a circular manner. Then we have studied about perspectives of looking at a solid. So when we see at a solid object, it is not necessary that whole solid object can be seen from one position. A solid can be seen from different angles having different looks. So we have learnt about front view, side view and top view. And coming to the topic, today's topic, which is mapping space around us. Students, all through these years, we have been dealing with different types of maps, like we have studied world map, regional maps we have gone through, maps of various parks we have seen, and how can we forget the Google map? These maps make our migration easier from one place to another. Have you ever thought what our life would have been without these maps? How would we be able to move to different places if there would have been no maps to help us get directions? So, a map depicts the location of a particular object or place in relation to other objects or places. So, what is the need of map? So, these maps make our migration easier from one place to another. We can also determine the distance between two positions with the help of a map. We take the help of scales in such cases. In the map also, scales are being mentioned, and so with the help of that scale, we can determine the distance between two positions with the help of map. A map scale is nothing but the measure of one unit shown in the map. So, what is the mapping space around us? In this we are supposed to make the map of a city. Exercise 10.2 of your NCERT book is based on this concept, that is mapping space around us. In this, different situations, different scenarios are being given to you, and on the basis of that, you are supposed to make the maps or help another person to reach to a one location. Like map depicts the location of a particular object or place in relation to the other objects. Like we use Google Maps. If we want to go to any one place and we do not know the directions or the route for that particular place, then we use Google Map. Likewise, we need to create maps for different situations in exercise 10.2 NCERT. Now, so what is the need of map? Maps make our migration easier from one place to another. We can also determine the distance between two positions with the help of a map. We take the help of scales in such case. So, if we want to determine the distance between two positions, then we can use map scale. Map scale is basically the measurement of one unit shown in the map. Now, some important points. Let us have a look on some important points related to the map. The very first one we will discuss is, to represent different objects or place, different symbols are used. Obviously, in the maps you must have seen that different symbols are being used because we cannot show all the particular objects in a single map. So, map symbols are being used. Second is, size of the object will remain the same irrespective of the observer's viewpoint. The size of the object will remain the same whatsoever we are showing in the map, irrespective of the observer's viewpoint. A map is different from a picture. There is a difference between a map and a picture. A particular scale is used to draw a map so that lengths drawn are proportional with respect to the size of the original figures. As we have studied about map, map scale is used. This is a point which is related to the map scale. So, important points related to the map are, to represent different objects or place, different symbols are used. We use map symbols. We use map scale. And another point is, a map is different from a picture, and the size of the object will remain the same irrespective of the observer's viewpoint. Now, let us think of a scenario where you want to move from place A to another place B in your city, but you do not know in which direction you need to move in order to reach there. What would you do in that case? So, in such a scenario, you would look for a map of your city which helps you visualize the directions you need to travel in order to reach point B from point A. Thus, by following these directions, you can easily reach from one place to another. Now, here in this, I am trying to make you think of a scenario where you are supposed to move from one place A, suppose, to another place B in your city, but you do not know the direction. Then in that case, you will have a look on the map of your city, which will help you visualize the directions you need to travel in order to reach that particular point from your place. Thus, by following the directions, you can easily reach from one place to another. Let us take up an activity now to draw a map which will help us get directions in order to reach Rohan's house, say, from Raman's house. Here, place A and B are named as Rohan's house and Raman's house. So, this is a map. I have tried to show you how you can make the map, this is a map shown below, which has both Raman's house and Rohan's house located on it. This is the map you can see, and you will be easily able to reach to Rohan's house from Raman's house. Now, if you will observe this map keenly, you will notice direction symbols on it. These direction symbols are also known as map symbols. In some maps, you will find symbols representing trees on roadside, river bodies in cities, etc. You can see the map again. This is the map. So here, map symbols are being used to reach from in between these two houses, that is Raman's house to Rohan's house. So these direction symbols are known as map symbols, and in some maps you will find symbols representing trees on roadside, river bodies in city, etc. Thus, map symbols are important components of map that help us visualize the information in the most conducive manner. So one needs to be careful about the map symbols which are to be used while making a map for a particular scenario or for a particular activity or for a particular city. Now, examples to make maps for different situations. I have tried to show you the map of a city where the areas are being marked in between like A, B, C. Likewise, you can use or mark the areas and Market Street, Ship Street. These are the streets which I have tried to show you. Likewise, you can make a map. That is, I told you that in exercise 10.2, you are supposed to make the maps based on the different scenarios or the different situations. And in that, you can use map symbols. As I told you, map symbols can be used while making maps. You can use the scale, you can show your creativity by making different symbols representing trees, road signs, etc. Then map of a city. Let us take an example of map of a city. Here, this is the map of a city. Here it is, though it is written in words like police station, fire station, bus depot, lake, you can use the symbols, but on the side, on the left hand side or on the right hand side, you need to represent which symbol, or you need to write down which symbol you are taking for which place. Lake, city park, like school, senior secondary school, roads are being made, Nehru Road. You can give names to different roads, hospitals are there. You can imagine the places or the areas which will be a part of your map, and then accordingly you can use the symbols, map symbols, and you can use the scale. You can use the colors also to show that blue color is for water, that is a lake. Likewise, you can use different colors also and different symbols and different maps to make the map of a city or whatsoever is the scenario given to you in the question. Now, coming to faces, edges and vertices. Faces, all the flat surfaces of the 3D shapes are the faces. So, all the flat surfaces, as I told you that in this chapter we need to deal with 3D shapes. So, all the flat surfaces of 3D shapes are the faces, and solids have more than one face. Or we can say that the polygonal regions forming a polyhedron. Polygonal regions and polyhedron, these are the words which we will be discussing in the next slide or next lecture. Here in layman's language, you can understand this, that all the flat surfaces of the 3D shapes are the faces. Faces, edges and vertices you must have studied in your previous class also, so you must be having idea. Solids have more than one face, so cube and cuboids have 6 faces. So what are edges now? Line segment which acts as an interface between two faces is called an edge. So it is the line segment that joins two vertices. So what are faces? All the flat surfaces of the 3D shapes are the faces. Solids have more than one face. For example, cube and cuboids have 6 faces. I will show you one figure also which will make it more clear to you. Edges, line segment which acts as an interface between two faces is called an edge. It is the line segment that joins two vertices. Cube and cuboids have 12 edges. Coming to vertex, a vertex is a point where two or more edges meet. These are the corner points. So what is a vertex? A vertex is a point where two or more edges meet. These are the corner points. For example, cube and cuboids have 8 vertices. So I hope definition of faces, edges and vertices or vertex, it is clear to you. Let us understand this with the help of this figure. So clearly faces, vertices and edges are being shown with the help of the arrows, and these faces, blue colored, blue, red and yellow colored, these are the faces. Vertices, they are the points where two or more edges meet, and edges are the line segment, you can see easily, and using the arrows I have tried to make it more clear to you. So I hope vertices, edges and faces are very much clear to you. Coming to homework part. Now, students, I hope you must have gone through exercise 10.1, and I will be discussing that homework solutions for question number 4 in the next few slides. Then your homework is, you are supposed to complete question number 1 to 4 of exercise 10.2 in your homework notebook. As I told you that in exercise 10.2, different scenarios are being given, and on the basis of those scenarios you are supposed to show your creativity while making the maps according to the requirement of that question. And then you can use your map symbols, you can use your map scale, you can use map scale also to show the measurement of any particular place, or as we have discussed, what do you mean by map scales, what do you mean by map symbols. Likewise, you accordingly, with the help of those concepts, I hope you will be able to make the maps of this exercise 10.2. So today what we have learnt? We have learnt about mapping space around us. Basically, a map depicts the location of a particular object in relation to other objects. Maps make our migration easier from one place to another, and we can also determine the distance between two positions with the help of map. Then we have studied about map scale. What do you mean by a map scale? A map scale is nothing but the measure of one unit shown in the map. Then we have studied about map symbols. The direction symbols which we use in the maps, like to represent trees on the roadside, river bodies in the city, they are known as map symbols. Then we have learnt, or map symbols are important components of the map which help us to visualize the information in the most effective manner. Then we have learnt about different situations, how to make the maps for different situations, and now you can show your creativity to make the maps in your homework notebook. Coming to homework solutions, here in question number 4 of exercise 10.1, you are supposed to make the top view, front view and side view of the given objects. These are the 4 parts which I have tried to discuss here. So coming to first 2 parts, a military military tent, you are supposed to make the front view of this tent. Then looking at this figure, military tent, clearly arrows are being made in all these figures, from where you are supposed to look at the figure on the front side, top side and top view and side view. All these where the arrows are being mentioned, using those arrows you can look at the figure from different perspectives, or different like front view, top view and side view you can make accordingly. So for first military tent, front view will be this, 2 triangles you will be able to see. Side view will be this rectangle, a sort of rectangle. Then top view, in the top view you will be able to see the edges, and this will be like this. For a table, these will be the front view, side view and top view. Top view will be definitely a rectangle. If you will look at the table from the top, obviously the top of a table is a rectangle, so it will be a top view will be a rectangle. Likewise, front view, side view and top view, I hope you will be able to make these figures. Coming to third part, that is a nut. Here in this front view, Front view of a nut. Here you can see these three side two rectangles will not be shown, the width of those rectangles will not be shown as it is in the figure, so they are being thinner as compared to the middle one. This will be the front view. Side view will also have these faces, and then top view you will be able to see that hexagon that is made already on the top of a nut. Then we have hexagonal block. For this, front view will be this hexagon, side view will be these two faces, and top view will be all these three faces. So I hope you have understood all the front view, side views and top views of these very four parts, and the concept of mapping space around us. I think that will also be clear to you. So I hope you will be able to do all the questions based on the concepts. Thank you so much.